Assalamu alaikum. Sulaiman Rahim here. Welcome. Let's slay some demons. Sisters and brothers, this presentation is for the purpose of giving a better understanding of how the angel key works. At the same time, unlocking another scripture, the scripture of Samson. I've talked about it, but now we're going to unlock it to show that the angel key is the key to the entire scripture. You find a particular scripture, you apply the angel key, and then you know what it means. Right now, they don't know what it means. They have the sealed Bible, which by definition, unless you have unsealed it, you have no idea what it means. They don't. The sealed Bible has power because it has information, has some guidance, it's for a certain purpose, but the real power is in the unsealed Bible. As I have been saying, it's similar, it's actually more powerful than their so-called thermonuclear bomb. It's a bomb within a bomb. You have a fission bomb, which is, fission is tension. Fusion is pressure. The opposites. It's like addition is opposite of subtraction. Fission is pulling atoms apart. Fusion is pushing them together. They use a fission bomb, same type of bomb they used to drop on the Japanese during World War II, to ignite the fusion bomb, which is in the center. The fission bomb is usually made of uranium or plutonium, a very complex atom that's easier to split. The more complex the atom is, the easier it is to split, for reasons I'm not going to talk about right here. But fusion, the inside is just hydrogen gas, which is just protons. That's what hydrogen gas is. Just proton atoms, which is the simplest atoms there are, because it's just protons, no neutrons involved. It's protons, the simplest atom there is. And that's what hydrogen gas is, just hydrogen. Hydrogen is the simplest atom, just a proton and electrons. So they put hydrogen gas in the center. That's the most simplest and the most complex on the outside. And when they ignite the outside, boom, it puts enough force and pressure to force the inside, the hydrogen, to fuse. And when it fuses, right, there's nothing to hold it, keep it. Like if you take a spring and push it down, you got to keep pushing it. Otherwise, if you take your hand away, it's going to pop back up. So when you fuse it, there's nothing to hold it together. So as soon as the fission explosion is spent, there's nothing to hold them protons together, but they all fuse together in a one little small space. So bam, they ignite with a more powerful explosion than the fission. That's where thermonuclear works. Same thing with this. The sealed Bible is an explosion. See? But ours is more complex because that was ignited 2,000 years ago, the sealed Bible. It produced enough power, explosive power, right, to ignite the Quranic Bible, Quranic scripture. That was a bomb itself. It ignited that, a more powerful explosion, which ignited another phase of the sealed Bible that was seeded with mathematics, a more powerful version of the sealed Bible. That's 3 explosions. You got the first one, sealed Bible, that's Prophet Jesus 2,000 years ago, Prophet Isa, which, of course, enough for to produce Prophet Muhammad, Quran, boom, another explosion, bam, another one, bigger one, which ignited the next one. That's the Gog and Magog. That's the atom they talk about in in the Quran. They ignite that explosion because what they did is they seeded the Quran, the sealed Bible, with mathematics, which created a big explosion 500 years ago. See, and we're at the very center of all that. And that explosion, see, 500 years going, now it's produced enough force to ignite the real one, the most powerful one. That's the unsealed Bible, the Injil, produced Suleiman. Because when you put something under pressure, it forces it to transform into the most powerful structure it can be. That's how coal transforms into diamonds. So the first one ignited, see, produced Prophet Muhammad, enough force to produce. Next one, right? That's the scientists that Newton and all those guys, this particular world we have right now, they founded this world that we're in right now. It's technology. And that explosion forced us right here in the center, right in the middle of all of it, see, to produce Suleiman, as Elijah Muhammad said, it would have to produce someone that had power enough to destroy them, destroy all Yaqub had done. Very powerful. See, so we want to understand how this works. Understand these scriptures. See, what's happened is because they don't understand the Old Testament, it's been reduced, so-called sealed Bible. I misspoke. The sealed Bible, since they don't understand it, it's been reduced to myths. It's been myths. I mean, at one time they thought, oh, that was literal, and people's really on board with it. But now it's been reduced to myth. I mean, the Adam and Eve story, it's like a myth. They tell children, oh, well, this happened, and it's like telling stories like fairy tales. Because that's the way they view it. These stories like fairy tales and things. Oh, what's the story about Adam and Eve, right? What's the story about Cain and Abel? What's the story about Noah's Ark? Those are reduced to myth in most people's minds. It reduced to lost in history like all the other myths. See, all those other things you call myths, those were scripture also. See, the Vikings, that stuff they had was a scripture, and I can prove it. The Roman religion, that was scripture, but now it's reduced to myth. It got, it's reduced to myth now. That's mythology. See, but those stories were just as, if you will, as fantastic as the Adam and Eve story, as the Noah story. It was just as real to them as the Adam and Eve story and the Noah story. I mean, serpent speaking, a flood and an ark and all these animals in one little ark, and So now people think of those. Most people don't take it serious. Think it's mythology. The scripture has been reduced to mythology by most, and many just distort it for their own purposes. So that's why, now it's time. It's being the unsealed Bible, right, is being ignited, and now it's exploding. It's going to blow away all those myths that because they reduced to myths, but they were myth in the sense of the word, because nobody knew what that meant. I mean, they talk about Adam and Eve, okay, a serpent and two people born 500. Man was made from garden and from the dust and all this stuff, and then you got stuff about Noah and all these animals. I mean, it's impossible to put all the animals in. Even if you couldn't put all the animals on the earth within the state of New Jersey. And the ark certainly wasn't that big. You got billions of type of species and things. Noah would have been billions of years trying to put all the animals in that thing. All the fish, all the, not to mention that, but flood. You'd also have to plant life. A lot of plant life wouldn't have survived that flood. Some would. See, so when you think about it from a mathematical point of view, it's a myth. It can't be possible. See? But they're not myths. Because once you get the key and unlock it, then you know what it means. And that's what we're going to try to do here. That's what we're doing here today. We're going to take and unlock one of those things that's right now is a myth, to show you it's not a myth. It means something. Show you what it really means, and or at the same time showing you how the key works. Okay, so let's move on to it. This is we're gonna deal with the story of Samson. Okay, move on. And again, who will win the war of Armageddon? That's what it's all about. Because this story of Samson is a story about right now. We're talking about right now. We're not talking about the past. We lead the people want to talk about the past, lead them in the past. Because every day they get further, further away from you. See? Because they're stuck in the past, time makers. We're moving to the future. So right there, the biggest item on this, right, the biggest item right now is this JCPOA. They're meeting over there, right? The Iranians, in my opinion, have a justified position. Because we know America cannot be trusted by anything. They tend, oh, we the greatest, and that's lie. It's remarkable how these people lie with straight face. Oh, America was founded on justice, justice and equality, and really? It was founded on genocide and rape and murder. How the hell you get this country? You know, I mean, it's like, what planet are you on? And most people buying that stuff because they and you know, and people are calling them out. See, the Chinese call them. I said, wait a minute, you talking about us? What we doing here? But what about what you doing? Say you wearing a hat of genocide. That means you the mother of genocide. The Russians call everybody because they're hypocritical people and evil people. Everything they've done is evil from the very beginning all the way up to now. And now they lie about it, which shows they're evil. And that also gives a conscience of guilt. This proves that they know they're evil. Because why would they lie about it? If they thought what they was doing was good, they would just tell the truth. If they thought all the stuff they was doing was good, they would tell the truth. Yeah, we came over here, we wiped out the Indians. They wasn't no doing good. God told us to do it. We built the niggas over here and we did that to them. I mean, it was justified because they was running around ass savage. I mean, if they thought that way, they would say it. And they would say, and they would justify, say, yeah, we did all those things, but this is the reason why we did them. But no, we don't do that stuff. We were good people. America's the best place on earth, but there are more prisoners than any place on the planet. Everybody's got to buy guns. Why you got to buy guns? It's so peaceful and great over here. Oh, why people come here if America is so bad? Because you just destabilize their countries and have no place else to go. You over the world to stabilize people's countries and impoverishing people. So then they run here. You say, why are they running here? Because they'd rather stay in their own countries. You caused all this destabilization. You did in Africa with South Africa. That's the whole reason why you set South Africa up, to stabilize the continent of Africa. The only reason why you set up false Israel to stabilize the Middle East. The only reason why you set up, Taiwan, those places set up to stabilize the Orient. Your game is up. We know what you're about. But the angel reveals everything. So all your secrets, like I said, your secrets we shot from the mountaintop. And that's what angels doing, is spread all your little secrets. So you can't talk your way out of this. This is time of judgment. 2020, as the angel says, right? As scripture says, as a Abrahamic covenant says, 2020 was your year of judgment. It will start with a plague. 1619 to 2019, 400 years to 2020 would be the first year, beginning of your judgment. And start would be a plague. So you can't talk your way out of this. All of a sudden, man, you want to be nice to black folks, right? Why are you doing it? Is it because you want to help black folks? You're nervous? Some of you doing it because you're nervous. Some of you doing it because you're trying to deceive black folks into a snare. See, I know what you're doing. Like all this stuff, you always getting all the so-called Trump people, right? You get them all riled up against the Democratic Party. See, you think you're slick with that one. So you get them all riled up against the Democratic Party. So they start hating the Democratic Party because they right now they about like they about finished with the Democratic Party. So they're getting violent. That's why you're putting the troops around that practical. Because the Trump supporters, that's half the country. That's the so poor whites, so-called middle class whites, half the country, even more probably. And you know, they get more and more violent because you make them more, you're doing policies that make anger them. You're trying to anger them. You're doing it on purpose. That's why you put the troops around the Capitol, because you know everything you're going to do is going to make them more angry. See, the point, you're trying to get them so angry that they finally attack. But by that time, the Democratic Party got a black face on it. By that time, it's crazy getting more black face because the reason why they get angry because of policy you're doing for black people. See? So the black Democratic Party have a black face. And by the time he gets so angry and the Democratic Party got a solid black face, that's when you back off and you join with the Trump people. And they come and get rid of all the black niggas. See, you ain't fooling me. I know all your secrets. See, using black folks to anger them, because that's your technique to get rid of black folks. You Democrats, you've been trying to get rid of black folks all kinds of ways. It says be a snare. It says you come out with slick, you come out with salty, you be slick. See, can't clandestine. It says you be truly with them. So you get black folks to get into, yeah, we don't get everything. You should be part of the Democratic Party. See, and all the time you rile, getting America more, the whites in America more and more angry, more and more angry. Why? Because of the policy you're doing towards blacks. Now, all of a sudden, before, all the policy you had before was directly against black. Abortion, prisons, sending jobs overseas, and all that kind of stuff. You got all that. See? Because say you would try abortion, you first try to get rid of them in abortion. But when you couldn't get rid of them in that way, then you try to do, you throw them in the river, which a lot of people understand what that means. But this part of what I'm talking about right now, it's also part of putting them in the war. That's about to happen. That you're planning. It's the Democratic Party. Because they've been against, they was the slavers. Not that all American, that the other ones wasn't either, but they was primarily the slavers. They was the ones fight, they was the rebels in the Confederate War. They was the Jim Crow people. They was the Ku Klux Klan, right? They was the segregationists. They was all of that. See? But they kept losing. So they said, okay. Margaret Singer, all that. That's all Democratic policies, right? Putting Planned Parenthood, all the black neighborhoods and everything. They got this movie coming out. They even admit that she was talking to Ku Klux Klan, and her stated purpose was to get rid of black people. That's why she set up the abortion thing. The stated purpose to get rid of niggas. So then they think, hey, but okay. See, y'all remember the old movies, bird rap and all kind of stuff where they got slick. So they said, okay, let's try something else. Let's give these niggas everything they want. Because that's going to get all the other white folks mad. Get them real mad. We're going to give them reparations. They had a survey. They said, majority of white folks in this country, the guy actually said it. Let me see if I can find it. He says, if you want to start a race war in this country, start giving black folks reparations. That's getting them more and more angry. See? More angry. See? At the same time, see? Because the whites are doing this stuff, they know they can always flow right back into the society, because they white, right? So hey, getting very angry, and then when they get angry enough, when they know it's about the pot's about to boil, then they say, oh man, all of a sudden they're against you, something they're against you. They were the other people, and the Democratic Party got this black face. Everybody's against, and they come and tear you apart. Brothers, you better wake up. It said they would do it in a way you would understand. It said come as a snare. Oh, that's a conspiracy. Well, that's where you'll be talking about it, wouldn't it? Because if it's going to come as a clandestine, undercover, as true, then it would seem like a conspiracy, because it is a conspiracy. They're setting you up. They said they would set you up. That's the game plan. You see the Democratic Party gradually getting more and more of a black face, and every Americans getting more and more angry. How do you think that's going to turn out? How do you think that's going to turn out? All of a sudden, everybody's against the Democratic Party, but the Democratic Party turns out to be the black party. And so everybody's against that. And the folks that was your buddies that you thought with your friends, Biden and all those clowns, all of a sudden, hey, we ain't, man, no, we right. Yeah, we ain't with y'all, man. That was too far. They didn't say anything overnight. Now you stand there holding the bag and everybody's angry with you. And they can't stop it. They come and tear you apart. That's their plan. Okay. Whew. Brothers and sisters, you better be glad you got a God on the scene. You better be glad you got a high priest. But if you didn't, you'd be toast. You'd be worse than toast. Because they got a plan for you. They plan, Allah has a plan, Allah has a better plan. It says in the scriptures they got a plan for you. It said, let's cut them off. Cut them off from being a nation so to be remembered no more. Just get rid of them. Throw them in the river. Abort them. All these plans they got, and they said they hate you. They want to get rid of you. It says in the script, they hate you. But you think talking about false Israel over there, because that's no diversion. So you think you're talking about them. No, you're talking about you. Okay. The mighty wind. The wind's blowing now. At the point at what time it blows everything over. See? At what point does it get to hurricane strength? And it says wind will come and it's going to cause these figs to blow, to fall, you know, but unripe before they're ready. And that's about to happen because that war is going to trigger Armageddon. We're already in Armageddon. We've been in Armageddon, actually, in close quarters for 6,000 years. But Armageddon started 50,000 years ago. It's been a 50,000-year war, different levels. 35,000 years when we return to Middle War. Get you off a mathematical standard into religions. That's where religion started. So you stop thinking mathematically. Because as long as when they take you off the mathematics standard, then they got you. Because that's your power, mathematics. Mighty wars. As soon as this war breaks out. Right now, watch the JCPOA. That's what I said. Because angel tells you that's at that point. Because that's what they're saying right now. If they can't get them back in JCOP, it's clear. They said it. If they cannot get Iran back in JCOP, then there's going to be war. Europeans said it. False Israel said it. America said it. Or the general said it. Because they will not allow Iran to get nuclear weapons. And so that's the whole purpose of JCPOA. And right now, Iran said, I'm not getting back in it. Unless America reduces all the sanctions. America said, we're not going to reduce sanctions until you comply, get rid of all your nuclear material. And they said, Iran said, I don't know why I do that. If I do that, right, you're going to do it like Trump did. Then you say, no, we still ain't going to do it. Now I got rid of all my material. Then it's going to take me years to build back up again. So you playing a game. You're going to keep sanctions on me, but you're going to make sure I never can challenge it. See, those people invented chess. And they're in the right. They didn't break the agreement. Mr. Trump broke the agreement. And chapter 11 gives you a total time frame. And says at this point in time, right, this particular time, the wind is blowing. The wind's blowing. The winds of war is blowing right now. The winds of war are blowing right now. That's the point we are in time. And at what point does it reach hurricane strength? It says not going to die down. Because if they go back to JCPOA, that means it died down and all this is over. The angels, you can throw it out of the way. At least I don't have it, so somebody's got to come break the seals. So we got to wait somebody else to come break us. If that says that happens, that means I didn't break the seals. I mean, I don't know what I'm talking about. So the winds of war are blowing. That's where we are right now. And it says it's going to get so strong because right now there's attack Iran vehicles over there, or they got all sorts of stuff going, and then America, and then they signed this agreement with China, which remember the war starts, and then it moves right into quickly into war with China and Russia. And right now, if you pay attention to the news, that's the scenario I've been talking about now. You didn't see a scenario a couple of years ago. I've been talking about this scenario for 30 years. Now also all these things coming into play. So what's going to trigger it? The war in the Middle East, war with Iran. I'm not going into particulars because I could go into particulars. I just don't know exactly what time it's going to happen. I know it's within a year, but it says no one knows that but Farad, because he's the one. It says Michael and his angels. That's Farad and his angels, it's Shia. They're going to war with the dragon's angels. See, I know it soon. See, the winds of war, they're blowing now. At what point they reach hurricane strength? Today, tomorrow? Because they can't make an agreement, and this can't last for years. See, because they said Iran could have this nuclear weapon within months or within weeks or whatever. They got to get this agreement. They got to stop them producing uranium. They got to get an inspection, all that kind of stuff. If they can't make the deal, And ran steadfast said, no, I'm not going to, you release the stranger first. Y'all put it on there. Y'all broke the agreement. And Mary said, no, we want you, we know you got to reduce it. Plus, you guys, all these other things. Rand says, heck with all that. I mean, what, we're going to trust you again? And at the impasse, the winds of war are blowing. Okay, we're going to go into Samson. Now, we're going to talk about a little symbolism here. Now, again, in Angel Key, as I gave a little presentation a while back, a little lesson about how important it is to make sure you get the key right. So it's a follow-up of that, right? Okay. Here, you got to pay attention to everything they say. So I'm not going into excruciating detail. But here, see, as Hab says, he said to her, in other words, this woman Delilah is trying to trick him, to take his power away from him, this Samson person, right? So 3 times he lies to her about what's the source of his power. Now, why is he doing that? See, because that talks about, because there's four horses, so to speak, in the angel, right? If you can see this, right? Oh, I'm about to mess up again right here, covering up. Got to get used to this. Okay. See here, see where it says, right here, this top wind, that would be a position for a horse. This next wind, all these winds right here, position where a horse would be. Also could be a voice, right? Okay, so right up here where you see this where it says hair and Samson and boy and I, with those, when they're down here, see over here, they're down here, demon, saint, demon, right? They're in a position where horses are. So it's 4 of them. One's a saint, one that's the wheat and the chaff thing. That's why it says in the 4th seal, right? 1 for 3, 1 for 3, because there's 4 of them all together. 1 is a saint and 3 is a chaff. I'm not getting into that detail about that. Anyway, that's the bottom line here. So they're putting this into perspective. So it's 3 things because everything has to fit in place. So he says right here, he says, okay, take these ropes, right? Okay, so otherwise, he's pointing to this one right here. See, I put over here the symbols we're going to use. This is normal symbols, right? By comparing. So, so over here, well, this is not equal to that one side. This is a different position. Well, anyway, I'm just trying to put this on this side here so you know where these go. When these here are down here, when these here on top are down, see, that's the position they would be in. So when he's right here like this, right? Okay. Well, before I do that, well, let's go to the second one here. He says, he's talking about his hair. He says hair has 7 locks. Well, that's this right here. Because see, his hair would be right here. That's why I'm putting hair right here. So he's identifying who he is in relation to these 4. So his hair, because this would be the 7 locks right here. There's 3 of them, 6 of them, that right there with the other one. 7 locks. So that's what's talking about, this one. Okay, so in this one down here, he has 7 again. He says 7 fresh animals. That's attendance. Well, that would be here. So now you talk about this next one. That's the saint. That's the eye right here. I call my eye right here, right? Talking about this one, okay? Then it talks about just the one with the rope up here. Well, that would be this one. So that identifies this one, and this one. That leaves this one left. That's him. That's him. That's Samson right here. See? That's why I see Samson. I'm sure that's Samson. So he's identifying these, right? And he's Samson. So he's trying to show you who Samson is. Hope you understand me. Like I said, I'm trying to not get too complicated, But those that study should have some idea. No, those not studying probably have no idea what I'm talking about. So now we say, when we're trying to establish what these symbols they talked about. So this would be the hair. They mentioned hair. They mentioned Samson, mentions eye, and then later on they mentioned a boy. So now we know that's how to put these pieces in. And we know the rope. And we know the lock. See, we feel putting all the pieces trying to figure out where these pieces go in this puzzle. Remember, I said you got to find out, you get the symbols, but now you got to put them into that puzzle. Figure out how they fit in that puzzle. That's what we're doing here. So now we got this part of the puzzle fixed, this part of the puzzle fixed, right? And we got this part. So we still got some other pieces here we haven't fit in yet. See? So here's the rope up here. See, they don't mention 7 things in the rope. See, but the rope was, it says, bind me with new ropes. They haven't been corrupted, have not been used. That's these. See, because these have been corrupted. Women, these are the only ones that haven't been corrupted up here. See, all the other ones turned to D, they've been corrupted. See? Remember the woman's corrupted, but these remain original. But these other ones corrupted. That's why I don't say 7. But these say 7. That's 7 here, that's 7. So leave these right here. Right? Okay. I hope you understand. And it sounds a little complicated, but it's really not that complicated. Okay. So then it came, and so here's the part right here. It says, and it came about when she pressed him. This is Delilah trying to, her words urged him that his soul was annoyed to death. He told her all, so he confessed. He finally told her what is real. See, he lied to her the first 3 times. He lied to her because the first time he just lied to her. He kept telling her, this is the reason, if you do this, the rope, that's the source of my power, which is a lie. He said, oh, wait, well, this is the source of my power. If you cut these 7 locks off, that would be, that's a lie, right? I mean, these 7, he said about this pin that's associated with 7 locks. Then so he kept telling her, but so she said, you keep lying to me. It was 3 times. So finally he tells the truth. See, he's getting down to this one down here now. He finally tells the truth. He says the truth is, right, if you take and if you shave my hair, right, to a razor, it never came on head, his Nazarite from brother shave, my strength will leave me. So if he does that, right, then he won't have any strength anymore, because she was trying to find he was so powerful they couldn't do anything with him. So he's trying to find what's the source of strength so he could get him. So he finally tells her the truth. See, he says, right, he's talking about this, remember his hair represents when he's right here, that would be this one. So if you take that off, there's 7 locks, right, then, right, my power will be gone. See? So she's trying to find so she can get rid of him, but she don't know that. So she worrying and worrying and worrying. And then, see, so here it is right here. See, it says right here, shave my strength, and that's what she did. She took and let me read this carefully. Okay, here it is right here in 19. And she made him sleep on her knees and called for a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. See, shave this off. See, shave it off. See, so let's go back and look at this again for a second. See, here he has hair. He has hair and he has eyes. He has hair, has eyes, right? But once he gets here, see, he doesn't have it anymore. They took it. He's down here now. He don't have any eyes or hair. He's by himself. He don't have any eye, don't have any hair. That's what he did. That's what he said. They cut his hair off, they cut his eyes out. So he don't have it anymore. He's down here by himself. See, and when he's down here, see, they took him. He woke from sleep, and but then he said the Lord had departed from him. See, the Lord had departed from him also. Let's back. See, he's here. He had the Lord. See, there's the Lord. He had the Lord. he had hair, he had the eye, he had the Lord. But once they got him, said the Lord had departed from him. Now, see, you have nothing. The Lord is up here. You don't have any hair and you don't have any eyes. See, he says, and began to humble. And she had shaved off the 7 locks. Then she began to humble him in strength. And the Philistines came upon him, saying, he woke from his sleep and go out at other times. He wasn't free, but he did not know. But he did not know that the Lord had departed him. So Lord wasn't with him anymore. And then the Philistines seized him and gouged out his eyes and brought him down and strained him in bronze chains, and he became a grinder prison. So his hair was gone, his eyes were gone, and the Lord was gone. So he's down here by himself now. That's what it means. See? I'm not changing anything. Everybody know the flow of the angel, right? Now they're down here. See? That's when it comes down, right? Okay. So I'm just showing, comparing without the normal symbols, right? These are the symbols over on the left are the symbols for this story for Samson. Over here is just the normal symbols that they talk in the angel. But we've taken those symbols of Samson and mapped it onto here. And so we leave this out here so we can see that things still going the same way, but we use these symbols over here on the left for the Samson story. Then the war takes place. That's what I talked about, right? The wind's blowing. War takes place. So America falls, Israel, Britain, if Babylon falls, they're thrown out of the Middle East. Shia overtook them, kicked them out. Fraud and his angels, right? Michael and his angels took out the dragon and his angels. That's what's happening right here, the war. It's about to happen. See, we talked about before. Let's make sure we understand this now. See here, this is him being enslaved. This is during our time of enslavement. So this is a demon here. See, but they're slave masters' children. See, and they was enslaved right along with us. See, they're enslaved. That's what it says. He was enslaved. See, said, and they brought him down to Gaza and strained him with bronze chains. Anybody know what bronze is in Daniel? Bronze represents false Israel. See, he was strained with bronze chains and became a grinder in the prison. See, getting grounded, he was enslaved. See, master's children, house Negroes, whatever. So now we're at the time of the war that's about to take place. 400 years has passed. See, back here, that's during the 400 years that we over here as enslaved, right? Time is over, right? Now, we're here and the war is about to take place. This is what happens. The war about to break place in the Middle East. America falls, Israel thrown out, right? Okay, it's the war. Then the winds begun to blow. But the first wind right here, right, that's also called a key. That's the one that lets, because Samson also the locust. That's that locust plague that's about to take place. When the war happens, a locust plague going to take place. Because that's the key. It said he had to get the key. It said rain here is the one, that's the 5th seal. I mean the 5th trumpet. But he had to have a key to loose the plague of locusts. So now, for 5 months, they're going to tear this country apart. For 5 months. You have 2 locust plagues. One took place already last year, 5 months. That George Floyd thing. But this is going to be a lot worse, right? So that's when the winds start playing. Because once the war starts, they're going to attack us, right? Because they've been trying to put that black face on the Democratic Party. That's part of it, right? So anyway, now the locust plague. This will last for 5 months. As soon as the war starts, this is going to happen. All kinds of reasons why this, that, of course, is draft. They're going to try to draft people because they're at war now. They're at war with China, Korea, they're at war with Russia. And China and India could put 200 million man army by itself. But what about because they had war with their own allies, used to be the allies, EU, war with Russia. And like I said, China, they war with China and India, and that's 200 million man army by itself. So they got to draft everybody. They got to draft people that they can't even, that's undraftable. And who you think they'll come after first? That's another reason why, because these blacks ain't going to be down with that. So anyway, that's what's going on here. That's the locust plague. What's going on? Tears country internally. America's at war out externally and internally. The sword within, the sword without. America's gone. This could happen any day now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen very soon. This war is going to take place very soon. And that's when the resurrection, because why that happens? Because they're attacking us now. They attack all blacks, not just some blacks, all blacks, how blacks come together. That's the so-called resurrection. All blacks come together. All blacks come together. Because that's the winds blows. That's what it says in Ezekiel. The second resurrection, all blacks came together. See? But that's also the harvest, where the wheat and the chaff are gathered together. And the chaff are separated out and thrown back into the fire. So that's where we are right now. So this going to happen, right? During the time of the locust plague. Okay? And that's where the chaff is thrown out. The demons are separated. Right? You get the demon, chaff, demon, same thing. They're separated. See? But see there? Now Samson, right? He's a demon. He's the chaff. Right? See? He's also the locust. But see, now they're down there. They're cast out. At that time, we're gone because the Iranian's not coming over here. She's not coming over here. So that means we're over there now. This is where Michael stands up. He's already defeated the authorities in the Middle East because he's preparing a place for us. So he's taken Arabia as far as authorities. He broke the authority. So this population just remains there now. That's the one that Joshua has to go make war with them. Because when we leave here, we got to take that land back. They're not giving it up. Arabia. That's what said Joshua with the way. See? But she'll control the area, but they still got population. They're not giving that land back up to us. That land belongs to us. They ran us out 50,000 years ago. Now it's a promised land. We're taking it back. So we're there. But the demons, they're left behind here. They wanted to be left behind because remember the chief demon, Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds. Please don't make me leave the country. I want to stay with the evil. I want to stay with my evil devil daddies. So now they're here with their devil daddies. But they got to fight and they ran off the cliff together, destroyed themselves. That's the same story. He went to there. They went into a swine. The demons went into a swine, and then they got to fight and run off the cliff and killed and destroyed themselves together. That's happened right here because now they're with them, but they get to fight amongst themselves. See, that's what's happening right here. But see what Samson is? Samson is positioned, destroy Samson. He will be positioned right between two pillars. See, and now we have his hair back, but he didn't get his eye back. You see what I'm saying? Now he's got his hair back, hair grew back, but his eye didn't. See? But these are also eyes too. Now I talk about his two eyes. He wanted to avenge, it says, what it says here. Here's a symbol of great man, call God, but two souls they cast praise God. They may arise the time to kill, so have they were high spirit. Okay, so here it is. He wants revenge now. He wants revenge. Right? So he positioned himself between two pillars. He had a little boy. Here's a little boy. He got his hair. There's a little boy here. So he got put all the pieces together. He positioned him between, because little boy, he's got eyes. He can't see. Sam can see, but little boy can't see because he's an eye. So he positioned him between the two pillars. There's the two pillars. Here's Sam between two pillars. See, over the same thing over here. Between the two pillars, right? And it says, that's on the next slide. Let me go to the next slide. Okay. And it says, listen, okay. It says the roof had 1,000, 3,000 people in the roof, on the roof. Here's the roof. Here it is. between two pillars. Here's the roof. Pillars hold up roofs. There's this 1,000. Those that understand angel, understand this. That's the 3,000 on the roof, right? He positions too, because he's gonna bring his whole thing down. That's the reason why he's doing it. He wants revenge. He positions himself between two pillars. Had the boy position in there, and it says, now the house was full of men and women, all the governors, and about 3,000 men and women. There's the 3,000 that was on the roof. See, on the roof. Brothers and sisters, it's beautiful. And may take revenge on the Palestine for my two eyes. He take revenge for his two eyes. What is two eyes? See over here? These are eyes too. Those are two eyes. Him, he's taking revenge for two eyes. These two eyes. Back, if you can't see it, let's back up. These are also called eyes. See? So here he is. He's taking revenge for these two eyes. So he does it, and it has collapse. See? Brave self, and right hand and left hand, right? See? And both of those are hands. You understand, angel? We back up a little bit. Both of these are hands also. Because they're in the middle, right? So you go back, let me not go back, just show it. So brave self, and he says he wants to die with them. And that's what it does. He says he wants to die with them. He says, and let me die with the Philistines. He pushed forward powerfully, his house fell on the ground. The house fell. So it fell. And it killed them all. And there to be killed at his death was more than those he killed during his lifetime. It means, right, all of them got killed. Not just who he killed, but that's when the flood comes and wipes all of the Europeans. Wipes all of them out. Actually, this shouldn't be. This should be. Anyway, I left the pillar there, but it should be behind that, so we'll leave it there for now. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on. I just want to make sure. Okay, there you go. So all of it's gone. That's the flood. That's the story of Samson. See, same thing. The sequence hasn't changed. So we just mapped Samson's story in there. It gives a little more detail, right, about what's going to happen, how it happens to them, right, after we're gone. Because they're fighting each other. And they fight each other at the same time. The goat is attacking. See, in other words, America's in turmoil. You got the demons destroying inside, and you got death and hell, death and Hades attack from the outside. China and India with Africa, non-Islamic Africa. That's the three they talk about in there, right? The dragon has 7 heads, 10 horns, right? With crowns upon his heads. You got the beast that has 7 heads, 10 horns, but the crowns upon his horns. You got another beast that has 7 heads, 10 horns, but no crowns at all. That's all of them together right there. And that's their goat. He comes and knocks out the ram. I gave the story about that in Daniel, right? So that's the end of it. That's the flood. It's the flood of humanity, not water. That's the flood. Takes out all America first, Britain, and then the rest of Europe. See, that's where it says more killed than he did his whole lifetime. The whole thing wipes them all out. See, so America's totally destroyed within. How are they going to fight the war? Because when the enemy comes, they got to be united to fight it, right? But they fighting right here in the country. A race war right in America. It's going to be a race war. These demons, right? They're going to be fighting the evangelicals, right? The stream, whatever, A race war right here inside the country while they've been attacked from outside. America's toast. They can't survive any of this. It's all over for them. It's just a matter of days away. So we just show a little more about here. That's Samson's story. So we can pick another story, and just map it in. But I'm showing you how it works. We mapped it in, and we unlocked another story that you didn't know, because otherwise the Samson story is just a myth. Well, something happened back there. He was strong, and he was powerful, and they could get his strength. Then they tricked him. They cut his hair off, right? They put him in slavery. They cut his eyes out, put him in slavery, and then his hair grew back. He grew strong. Then he fell between two pillars, and he brought down the temple, killed everybody, and that's a nice little fairy tale story for kids or whatever. What does that mean? See, because that's what he told us. That's what you was told if you know the story as a kid. So you thought that stuff happened in the past. It was a nice story to hear, but how does it mean? Does it buy any potatoes for you? Right? See, does it pay your rent? I mean, it's just a nice story. Might as well have been reading Cinderella. But now you know what it means, because the angel key unlocked it. So that's the whole purpose of this presentation. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.